Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. Amaka Charles here, and if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome. Today's video is going to be all about this green smoky eye look. So if you're interested in seeing how I achieve this beautiful look, please keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications, and let's get started. You must be the change you want to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi. So I'm just going to jump right in and use my Milk Hydro Grip primer. This is my favorite primer by far. If this is your first time watching my videos, then you should know that I rave about this primer every time. It is the best primer to achieve a hydrated and flawless makeup look. Okay, so I'm just going ahead to massage that into my skin, and I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation. The foundation I'm going to be using today is the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation. Love you, Rihanna. This was such an amazing invention, and I'm just using my Tarte Concealer brush to push that into my skin. I'm going to do this all around my face, and I usually go back into spots where I think I can still see some of my hyperpigmentation. I'll just add a little bit more product and then continue. For my concealer, I'm using my HudaBeauty High Coverage Overgiva Concealer in Caramel Corn. As you already know, I will always put enough concealer in the areas that I want full coverage. Sis, full coverage, because if you don't have enough concealer, like in the areas where you want full coverage, by the time you start to blend out and the product moves about, you're not going to like what it looks like. I'm just putting it in the areas that I want the lights to hit, and then I'm going to go ahead and let that sit on my face for about 4 minutes, just so it dries down a little bit before I start to blend it with my damp beauty sponge. Now I will always blend the outer corners first, because that's like the area with less concentration, so I don't really need that much full coverage in the outer corners before I go in and blend the side of my nose to like proper under eyes, because that's the area where we're trying to get full coverage, so everything looks nice and seamless. Next up, I'm going to take my Tantour HudaBeauty Tantour contour in medium, and I'm going to use that to kind of add shade to my face. I'm going to use that to contour my face, basically going in the perimeter of my face, underneath my cheekbone, by the side of my nose, and under my chin, so I can have that chiseled look. And I'm going to use the same brush to buff it out and blend it into my skin. Now what I would usually do is, when I'm blending, I kind of watch for harsh lines. I try not to go too much into my concealer, and then I will always come back and take my beauty blender that I had used to blend out my light concealer and just fuse the contour and the highlight together, and then I will go over it with my foundation brush as well, all in the bid to make everything look beautiful, because harsh lines do not live here. Okay, harsh lines do not live on the face of a premium babe, so make sure you take your time to blend out the harsh lines. Make sure everything is smooth. Once I'm done blending out my contour and highlight, I'm going to set my face just to seal the entire face in place. This really helps to fortify your makeup and help it last longer and gives you that flawless look. And I'm going to let it dry down, then I'm going to go ahead and put my LauraMercier translucent honey setting powder in the areas that I have applied a concealer, because concealers would shine, they would break, like they would crack or crease, and they will produce oil. So you need to seal it in, baby. The best most effective setting powder for me is this LauraMercier translucent setting powder, and I just absolutely love it because it just gives you that proper flawless look. I should also mention that my beauty sponge is still damp. No matter what you're doing with your beauty sponge, whether it's applying your setting powder or or you're blending out the concealer, it has to be damp. It doesn't matter, it's not going to change anything. So I go ahead and I do one layer, and then I go over it with another layer, not necessarily pushing it in because I'm still going to dust it off later on. But the very first layer, I kind of press it in so it disappears, and then I go over the second layer because I like that bright under eye. But if you don't care about bright under eyes or bright highlights, you can just do the very first layer and then move on with your life. Okay. Once I'm done setting my face, I'm going to go ahead and set my contour as well. I'm using my AnastasiaBeverlyHills powder bronzer in Mahogany, and I'm taking a big fluffy brush and I'm just spinning that in the areas where I had contoured earlier, just so you know I can set it and it doesn't shine, because trust me, these concealers and contour creams will shine if you don't set it. Okay, so I'm going to do that with the fluffy brush, and then I'm going to take a small brush and do the side of my nose. I haven't blended out my powders, my setting powder, so don't worry about how bright it looks right now. All that is going to go away. Next, I'm taking my Maybelline Fit Me blush in Berry, and I'm just going to put that on my cheek, tapping lightly while I give a very half smile. You can smile, you know, complete smile, it doesn't matter as long as you put it on your cheek. Okay, next I'm taking my MAC Studio Fix powder in NC50, and I'm going to dust off that excess powder that you see underneath my eyes. I like to use the powder because it just tones it down a little bit. That powder is my exact shade, so you can always use a powder a pressed powder that's your exact shade, not necessarily lighter. You see how it's toned it down already? It's still going to tone down even more after we put setting spray on it. And I'm just going in the areas where I didn't have any powder, and I'm just, you know, blending everything together, making everything look, my favorite word, nice and seamless. So I did my brows off camera, big deal. I do it off camera all the time. Now I'm just explaining to you guys that, you know, I put my concealer all over my eyes, and now I'm going to use that fluffy brush and I'm just going to apply the setting powder on it. This is kind of like my primer or eyeshadow base that I do. This really helps, you know, my eyelids not to crease, not to crack, not to look horrible. Okay, so put enough setting powder on your lids and pat it in. Make sure you push it in nicely, and we're going to move on to the fun part, colored eyeshadow. I'm excited. Today's eyeshadow look is sponsored by Jaclyn. I absolutely love this palette. Every eyeshadow that I used on my eyes today is from this palette. I'm taking my Morphe blending brush. I really need to find out what this brush is called so I can link it in the description bar. And I'm just going to take Yuki, and I'm going to use that as my transition shade, which I will just spread all over my crease and, you know, kind of stretch it a little bit up to my brow bone, but not completely on my brow bone. I felt like it wasn't that pigmented, so I went back in with Roxanne just to add a little bit more depth, you know, just some more color to it. And I'm still sweeping that on my crease while blending. This is one of the reasons why I use a fluffy blending brush every time I apply eyeshadow on my crease, because it just makes it easy for you. You're blending as you're applying and everything is looking nice, and you know your eyes are coming out beautiful. That's why I always use a blending brush to apply my crease shadows. So I'm just making sure that is nice and blended. Then I'm going to go in with Jada. Jada is like a light green, and I'm putting that on my crease, but not necessarily as high up as I had added the other transition colors. You know, I'm just trying to create a base color before I go in with the darker green. So as I'm doing that, I'm just blending upwards because, you know, I'm trying to fuse all the colors together and fade it out nicely. Once I have blended out Jada completely, I'm going to go in with Enchanted and just put that right below Jada, just so you know it looks like a cut crease. And I'm going to blend it up into Jada as well, because we're trying to fuse everything together and make everything look, you know, just a very beautiful gradient. So I start by applying a little bit of the Enchanted and blending, and then I go back in and add some more. I just keep going until I get the dark, you know, the kind of dark color that I want. And now I'm just taking Enchanted and I'm putting it in the inner corner of my eyelids and the outer corner as well, because I'm trying to do the angel veil. You guessed right. So you want to go ahead and blend it all out nice and evenly, and while you blend, if the color fades, go ahead and add some more Enchanted until you get the darkness that you want in your eye, because this is a smoky eye look. It has to be nice and dark. Okay, once all that is blended out, I'm going to take Diva and I'm using a small flat brush to just put that in the middle of my eyelid to create the halo sunset beautiful look. Okay, so as I was applying Diva, I kind of realized it wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be. I really tried to make it look bright, but it wasn't as bright as I wanted it to be. So I went ahead and took Pool Party and I put it on top of Diva just to add some more brightness and make it look a bit more shiny. For my bottom lash line, I took Jada first and I'm sweeping that underneath my eyes, you know, kind of lowering it down to exactly how I want it. You can always finesse this however you want it. And then I'm going to also add the Enchanted on top of that and then go over it with my HudaBeauty Life Liner. Next, I'm going to line my eyes. I'm also using the HudaBeauty Life Liner and I struggle because I can't see, and I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing as well. So that's why you see me almost entering my mirror. But I don't like the excessive liners, so I just go, you know, nice medium liners. I'm going to put on my Velour lashes in Go Viral off camera. Here we go, lashes are in. I'm just putting my mascara, you know, just to kind of blend my natural lashes with the false lashes. And I'm going to dust off some excess powder that I still have on my face, the powder on my brows, and just make everything nice and, let me hear you say it, seamless. Next up is my highlighter. I'm using the MAC Hyper Real Glow highlighter. I already sprayed some setting spray on my brush and I'm just taking that shade and I'm going to give myself a nice smile and put it right on my cheekbone. I'm going to put it on the bridge of my nose as well, the top of my forehead and my chin. My favorite part is the lips. I'm taking my MAC Chestnut pencil. I'm going to be using the Sephora Nude Attitude into a 21 Nude Attitude and the Dose of Colors Supernatural, and I'm going to line my lips first and then put the Dose of Colors Supernatural and then my lip gloss. You guys, this makeup look is absolutely stunning. I don't do so much color on my eyes, but baby, every time I do color, it's just beautiful. Yeah, set that face, drench that face in setting spray so it is sealed tight. Yo, okay, you know what, let me put my outfit on. I'll be right back. So I just put on this green dress which I got last year. I wore it for a holiday party last year. I don't have any holiday parties this year, so I didn't bother, trying to find a dress. This dress is from ASOS. I love it. It's velvet and the detail on the dress is absolutely beautiful. I paired it with some emerald earrings as well, which I also got from ASOS, and my ring is from ASOS as well. I don't know, I'm ready to step on neck. I don't do so much color on my eyes, so every time I do color, I'm always so pumped because I hope you had fun, and I do hope you're going to be trying out all the techniques that I showed you to achieve that beautiful, flawless, airbrushed look for all your holiday parties that you have coming on, whether it's Zoom or in-person party. It doesn't matter. Stepping on neck is stepping on neck. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, turn on your post notifications, and let me know in the comment section if you enjoyed this look. Bye.